Well, it seems we have a new article online, and it's from the Telegraph, Daily Telegraph out in England, and well, it's an interview with Ben Barnes, and I just have to go ahead and get this out right now. I'm still kind of mulling it over. Um, it's kind of funny. I was actually planning for my next video to be one on kind of the adaptation. What do I want the adaptation to look like? What do I want? Why make a movie of Voyage the Dawn Treader? But I might do that next time. But it'll tie in with this because, well, basically, I'll just read it. Ben Barnes says, and I quote, "There are some big-pitched battles in this one, swords in action," he reveals when pondering his forthcoming adventure. "Although this film is more about magic, creatures, and discovery. I'm looking forward to seeing Caspian a few years later, as a king, playing a character that isn't so vulnerable and fragile this time around. And playing a king, I think that has to be pretty cool. The king is in charge for a start, although when the kids turn up and they kind of steal his thunder a bit. But I am looking forward to it. After all, as a kid, you dream of wielding swords in fantasy adventure." Okay, we didn't really. Narnia Web censored the. He wasn't that bad a comment. He just used it was a little bit crass when he talked about what the kids did. But the point is that there's two things. He says some big pitched battles. There's not really much we would call a battle in Voyage of the Dawn Treader. There is a fight, a very important fight with the sea monster, and that is something that, sure, it's going to be a big fight. He says in big pitched battles, it seems to imply more than one. I mean, it says more than one. I'm trying to think of what else it could be. I don't think that we're going to have some big battle at the end. I really don't. I hope not. There was a comment, of course, with the unfathomable fate, and, but that was a press release, and I don't want to link the two too much. I'd rather not until we have anything more concrete. But here, I'm looking at what Barnes said, and obviously he's read the script. Assume, and he's obviously closer here. So, sea monster. There's one other battle that is mentioned in the book, although many people forget it, and that is a fight with a pirate ship. But the fight with a pirate ship occurs before the children arrive, and some of you may not remember this. If you remember the line where Ruby Cheap says, "We sort of pursued every mother's son of them, and chased them all down. We shouldn't just let them go after we defeated them." That's a battle that I could see them trying to put in the movie. And on one hand, I wouldn't mind it because it was in the book. It's not like it goes completely against what was in the book because it happened in the book. I would not prefer it because, again, it's just one more distraction. There's nothing. Every part of their journey is tied to the original quest, the Seven Lords, and it's actually very centered on the quest in that respect. The pirate ship isn't, so there's no real reason to have the pirate ship as part of the story. I'm just trying to understand what could the battle be? Who would they be fighting? Is one thing. Sea creatures. We've heard rumors about this in the past. I could see them doing that. I could see them reading this saying, "Oh, we want to put in some action, but we don't want to go completely crazy and overboard. Where's some places that offer opportunity for action? Oh, well, the sea serpent. Okay, well, that's a given, Ruby Jeep wanted to fight the sea people. We could have a fight there." And I'm like, the whole point of Lewis, I think, not including that was that it was, again, going to be a distraction, and Ruby Jeep was distracted. Why? Because he was getting close to the end of the world, and he tasted the fresh water, which is what changed everything. So I'd really rather them not go there. On a side note, there's one fight two fights actually I think could be very well done and very entertaining, and one wouldn't really be much of an elaboration off the book. But I wouldn't mind them at all. I think it would actually be fantastic if they would do them well and not, because they don't have to have huge battles. What if? Just a thought. Since I'm on the topic. Well, for one, Edmund and Caspian at Deathwater Island. Okay, they both see the statue. They're both fighting for it. What if they had a brief duel? I wouldn't mind that. If it worked well, for the story, I wouldn't mind that. Although I think it would have to be pretty brief. You wouldn't want it long and drawn out. I think it'd be really fun actually to have a fight between Caspian and Lord Byrne, because he has the line in the book. Well, if you give me a sword, and he says, well, first of all, by my face, and second, if you give me a sword, I will prove to you that I am King Caspian X. And I thought, oh, wouldn't that be a cool scene if it was really done well? Those are the cases where if they wanted to work in some action, that would be fine. I wouldn't really have a problem with that. But pitched battles, I think actually that's a complete misuse of terms there. I don't think that, but then I'm not going to be worried about it because I think Barnes doesn't necessarily know a lot about, pitching, about a pitched battle, and I think he just threw that out there. Anyway, as for the Pevensey children messing things up, okay, let's look at what worst case scenario. I would say worst case is if we have some more contention between the Pevenseys and Caspian. We saw it in Prince Caspian, the movie. I didn't really like it that much. I thought it made sense. It worked okay for a lot for Tempers Rising. It made sense there. So I didn't mind it in that respect. I think there were I would have liked to see more loyalty between Peter and Caspian because they didn't really elaborate on that. We got it a little bit, and they gave some things, but not much. Here, I don't want to see that in Voyage of the Dawn Treader. I don't think it's necessary. I think it'd be much better for them to be be overjoyed to see one another. I mean, it really wouldn't make sense because here's the thing: Adam, I almost said Adamson. No. Aslan is bringing them into Narnia again, and they're overjoyed to see each other. It wouldn't really make sense if Aslan is bringing them into Narnia. Oh, great! Now I've got the Pevenseys here. They're gonna ruin everything like they did last time. It just wouldn't make sense. Here's where an interpretation of that might not actually mess anything up. If this is focused around Eustace, okay, well they've brought their cousin and he's stealing water and he's a pest and he's a pill and he's complaining and he's just ridiculous. If that was what this focuses on, I wouldn't have a problem. Because I think, he does kind of screw things up. Although, and again, he says a bit. So, I think the most important thing for me here is it's fine if Eustace messes things up. But he does that in the book. Do I think this is gonna be a big deal? Honestly, with other thing, I've got bigger fish to fry, in my opinion. I don't think this is gonna be the biggest issue. I think it could be a little bit annoying if they play it wrong, but I think they could play it right. I mean, he says a bit, so it's probably not. Okay, the language that they're using, that Barnes is using. Okay, I'll put it this way: when Barnes was describing the stuff going on between him and Peter, he was using much more harsh language than he was here. So I don't think it'd be anything to the same level as between as it was in Prince Caspian. So. We shall see. I'm not too worried about it, but these are just two things that I thought, especially the first one, the battles, I thought, this could be, again, one of those things where they're handling it poorly, and I sometimes feel that they make these choices on the script and stuff. I feel like the knight from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, you chose poorly. So, that's all for now. I'll try to get another video blog out on... the ship. Okay, I just have to say, ship is looking fantastic. Purple sail, thank you. So I'll just say, I want to do one on the ship. I want to do one on the situation with, the adaptation. But anyway, that's all for now. And until next time, this is Aurelian, signing off.